Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope all is well. I am just going to give it a second to see if Instagram goes live, and it does. Woohoo! Oh, get my voice back. Let me just throw that volume down there. How's it going? Hope all's well. I had a fantastic weekend. Man, what an awesome few days. We were at Breakout Con in Toronto. Got to catch up with a lot of friends in the industry, publishers that I've got to know over the past couple of years, content creators, and so forth. It was awesome. Got a chance to meet a bunch of just new friends, quite frankly, people that were playing our games and checking out our booth, and it was just so cool. What a great weekend. Any of you that were there, hopefully had a chance to stop by. Certainly, I know it's one of those things where you just can't wait till the next one. You know what I mean? You just can't wait to. It's an addiction. Games is an addiction for sure. There's no doubt about it. So I thought I'd do this podcast, or not even podcast, but just live. I would do on my haul that I got from Breakout Con. It's a combination of a few things. So first, I want to thank the people that were in our booth. So in our booth, we had my brother Adam, who's also my co-game designer. He was working the booth. He was killing it this weekend. He gets people into the games really quick, which was awesome. Had Alex from our company was there as well. She did an amazing job. We had my niece Megan joined us, and she made a bunch of these meeple earrings. These earrings, let's see if you can see that. Out of meeples that we had, so game pieces and so forth turned into earrings. Gave a ton of those away, which was awesome, and she helped with the booth. We had my friend Sarah Pippi from our game night Newmarket board game meetup. She helped for one of the days, which was awesome. She did a great job. And of course, my daughter Katie joined us on Sunday, which is cool to make kind of a family affair. It's always awesome when the family can all kind of get together, and we kind of had our final photo on Sunday, whereas my brother, my niece, and my daughter and I in front of the Toronto sign, which is super cool. So outside of that, we had a chance to do two things. One is there was an auction, and it really highlighted to me, it was like a silent auction. So the way it works at Breakout Con is people can bring games that are, gently loved, and they can set a price, right? And at 12 o'clock, so their price might be like $50, right? And then if it doesn't sell by 2 o'clock, their price drops to like $40. And if it doesn't sell by, say, 4 o'clock or the end of the day, then the price drops to their floor, their reserve price, which is like $30. So it's kind of one of these things where sometimes there's multiple copies of games, other times there's like one, and you have to make the call. Do you go at the higher price, or do you take a chance of waiting till the next wave, potentially get a better price in the game, but you might lose it? And that was certainly the case. Even when we were in there, I wish I had walked in that room like 5 minutes earlier, because I saw people walking out under their arm games that I totally would have grabbed had I saw them, which was too bad, but I got some other great titles. In addition to that, there was another booth that was a retailer that was just down from us, just down the hall, and we kept kind of going over and checking out their goods. They had some great offers. You roll a die, and it would give you your discount on a game. Could have up to like 50% in some cases. Adam actually walked out with like 10 games from the weekend, so I know his wife is probably going to kill him because he doesn't have a lot of room to store his games. But I had some I wanted to add to my haul, so I'm going to go through those on this stream. I don't know, 10-15 minutes. We'll see how long it takes. Let me move to my second shot camera here. There's a lot of games on my desk here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games we'll go through. And then I also got one of these cool dice trays. I don't really use dice trays, but the reason why I wanted this one, because it's black and red. And we've been working on the second edition of Tanks But No Thanks. I got to move these. We'll do this. We'll put them off to the side without them falling. Get into Red Rising later. That was a good score. the dice tray. So for Thanks But No Thanks, 2nd edition, I'm looking to include a dice tray. And specifically, we'll have a black one because it fits the theme of Thanks But No Thanks. Probably snap up. I heard that the magnetic ones don't stay together super great. So probably going to go with the snaps. And what I'd like to do is have, like, for any of you who are familiar with the game, it's a tank skirmish game. And our new board is super slick. It's a desert landscape. On the flip side, we have the 3-player game as well as a solo tower defense, which is a like a field, kind of like a battlefield with hexes. And one thing I find when I play that game is people are often splashing the pieces, so they splash the table with their die, and pieces go flying. Or they're on a table where the dice are loud. So we want to include a dice tray. And I think that what we'll do is we'll have like a printed graphic. This is someone else's tray, but a printed graphic on the inside that'll show kind of like rubble and almost destruction, which I think, maybe the Thanks But No Thanks logo, which I think would look pretty cool. So that's why I grabbed this. Just as we demo that, I just want to get a feel for the utility with that game in the coming months. Thanks But No Thanks 2nd edition is probably looking at maybe this fall. We're working on a Euro right now, which we will announce a lot more details on that as soon as the Planting Evidence Kickstarter is done. So Planting Evidence, for those of you who haven't backed us or followed us, if you follow the link up above, our link tree, will take you to our Kickstarter page. Even a $1 pledge would be awesome. We really appreciate your support. Planting Evidence, awesome card game. Once that campaign's done in a few weeks, then we're going to start talking about our Euro and start seeding out the information and the story on that, because it's got a really cool story. And so that will run probably at least until October. What I might do is even push it to next year, because that Euro we want to be a really, really big campaign. Not that you don't want all your campaigns to be big, but this one we want the buzz to be big. And there's a certain approach we're going to take, which is different than anything else we've done. So we just want to make sure to do it properly. So I might do is shift the order of things around, and it's possible because Thanks But No Thanks 2nd edition is pretty much ready. We might actually have, welcome everybody. We've got Dane, RVP Junker, and Tabletop Games joined. Welcome everybody. We might actually switch the order of things and do Thanks But No Thanks 2nd edition this fall. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. So that was the dice tray. So starting off, this is a game that a good buddy of mine, Richard McCrae from Analog Game Studios, he did this Kickstarter last year, and of course I backed it. He's a great guy. I like the concept. My dad is into abstract games. Like, my dad really loves chess and those really thinky kind of games. This reminded me a lot of a cross between chess and checkers. So I backed it. I really like the concept that we've got this I think Dr. Braun or Dr. Bond. I don't want to butcher his name. It might be Dr. Braun. Dr. Braun is this mathematician, PhD, super genius that created this game called Seator in Russia, and it's played in Europe, and it's sold millions of copies, and there's tournaments all over the world, which is cool. So Rich was able to get the rights of this for Canada and in the US or North America, and he liked the idea that the shapes had this kind of torus shape, and there's a lot of things to do with the torus shape where things kind of continue on from one side to the other, and that really kind of was a good analog for the game itself. A pun on the company name, Analog Game Studios, I guess. So yeah, I backed it, and because I knew I'd see Rich at Breakout Con, I said, hey, I'll pick it up when I'm at Breakout Con, and we'll catch up, because I knew we'd be spending some time catching up anyways, and get my copy of Taurus. You can see it's got Seator at the bottom. I'm going to deliver this to my father probably this weekend. So as you can see, the shape, the Taurus, and it's basically like a flat surface that's been rolled up and then connected like a donut. So when you play this game, my understanding is it's this kind of like three-dimensional, for lack of a better word, checkers. Super cool. I will have to read up on it and watch some play videos. But I know when you go off one side of the board, you can come on the other, and you're trying to Pin your opponent. There's a little bit of Othello in here as well. Or Reversi, I guess is what, there's another company called, I've always known as Othello since I was a kid. I don't know, maybe put in the comments, do you call it Reversi or Othello? I call it Othello. It's got some Reversi components to it as well. So I believe like when you pin your opponents, there's some Reversi kind of elements to it as well. But other than that, yeah, I look forward to playing this. Specifically with my dad, you know. My dad likes... he likes to play board games. He's the one that got me into gaming when I was younger. We always played games a lot when we were kids, and taught me chess when I was like 6. So, you know, that family bonding time. My dad and I usually bond over one of two things: either movies, so going to actually see a movie, or playing games and playing these kind of games. So I'm looking forward to playing this with him. And there you are. You got the pieces. Let's see if I can punch one out. Where you have yellow on one side and red on the other. So that, my friends, is Taurus by Analog Game Studios, designed by Dr. Braun. He was actually at the show. They had a tournament that they ran. The Board Game Bitch podcast is one of the sponsors of that tournament as well. But it was cool to see Dr. Braun actually walk the show, and he came over to our booth, and I was chatting with him. He actually zeroed in on Tanks and No Thanks, and I could tell because it's a bit of an abstract game in its own, and we had a good chat about that as well. So it was really cool. That, my friends, is Taurus. Maybe I'll do a quick jump cut on TikTok or something with all these games. All right, next up. So when we went to the to the auction, right away I saw this guy, which I heard a lot about, and not only do I know it's a fun party game, I think it's one of these games where it's like classic kind of thing that if you see like if you had a choice between saving like a puppy or I don't know, what's something equally horrible, having somebody hit by a car, like, but they don't die, but they get grievously injured. Like, what, you got to make a decision, right? Two very bad things, and which decision would you make? Which is the lesser of the two evils? Or the classic thing, if you have the trolley going down the train tracks, and the train, if it goes to the right, it's going to run over one of your relatives. If it goes to the left, it's going to run over 4 strangers. Which direction do you pull the lever, right? And so some pretty heavy stuff. I think they do it in a fun way. So I always wanted this game, and I want to play with one of my kids, specifically one of my kids who is a bit indecisive in her day-to-day life. And it might be a good way to get her to make a decision and have some fun and laughter along the way. Yeah, do you run over a kid eating an ice cream cone or 2 elderly people? It's a little bit morbid, but it's a very heavy game, by the way, too. Like, the actual weight of the game is, like, this is probably a good, I'd say 3 pounds. So that's cool. So you set up the track, and you lay out the cards, and you make your trolley decisions. Maybe what we do, let's ask. I'm going to ask you guys what you do. So here's 2 cards. Oh, these are devil cards. So it's got the flip side, actually. So you've got the train's going down the tracks. You have to pull a lever, and who do you let it run over? The leaders of the Illuminati, or a guy in a creepy van trying to lure children with ice cream? I think that was no brainer. I think it's the creepy guy with the ice cream. So those are evil ones. What's this one here? Cutting edge cancer research facility. Ignorance exploit residents. I don't know what that does. Give me some questions. Give me some questions. All right. I'm going to put the poll out there. So the people who are watching right now, put in the comments. See if I can move over to Board Game Binge. see if we can get our comments going here. All right, give me some comments. Who would you rather run over with the trolley? A crew of firefighters rescuing a kitten? Or an owl carrying your wizarding school acceptance letter? I think that one's pretty clear. Let me see if we can grab another one. Oh, look at that. A crew of firefighters rescuing a kitten or the girl that got away. All right, here's another good one. All right. Who would you rather run over with the trolley? A crew of firefighters rescuing a kitten or a teenage superhero who will one day save the city? That's a tough call. That is a tough call. I think it's going to be a fun game. I can't wait to play it. Again, this is going to be on my plans for this weekend. I talked to Adam already. We're probably going to try to get a game night going this week. I'm for sure I'll bring some of this to game night on Wednesday. We got a lot of games to get through in the coming week. We went a little silly with getting extra games, but that's what we all do because we all love gaming, right? That's why we're in this industry, and that's why we keep the passion alive. All right, so that, my friends, is Trial by Trolley. Wondering if any of you guys have this game. Do you like it? Is it awesome? Would you recommend it? I'm wondering what kind of life this game has. Does it age well? Because I know that some games don't age well, like some of the trivia games. Likewise, others, once you go through it, this one looks like it's random different choices, so I'm sure there's a lot of variability. But once you get to know all the cards, kind of like Cards Against Humanity, you kind of go to the same cards every time because you know what's going to get the votes. So, interested. Request to be in board guy. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to just give me a little thing here. I'm going to try to switch the Instagram over here. Because I am not getting comments, my friends. I can see who's here, but I can't get the comments. This is compelling stuff, folks. There we go. Board Game Binge Podcast, Instagram. All right. Cool. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Okay, so that's Trial by Trolley. The next one, I've seen this all over why can't I get the comments? Okay, they're there. Sorry. I've seen this all over Board Game Arena. So the digital side have played this game. I hated it because I didn't get what was going on. I was confused. But I have seen this at game night. I've seen people playing this at game night. It looks kind of cool. And Adam said, you got to play this game. It's actually fun. He plays a lot with his in-laws. So he recommended that I get it. It's from Quick, Simple, Fun Games. Written by Aaron Weissman. One thing I was shocked at, just as a publisher, let me show you this. See the warning on the front? Warning that the small parts, choking hazard. While you do need that on your box, it's important to have it on your box. I don't know why they put that on the front. Like, why wouldn't you put that on the back? That confuses me. Because there's a bit of an eyesore on the front. Maybe the country these guys published in requires you to put it on the front, maybe? This is in France, I guess. They launched this in France. Maybe in France they have regulations that say you have to put the warnings on the front of the box. I don't know. It's very strange. I have no idea how to play this game. Apparently he was saying it's like you're on this airship and you're going from station to station, and then people are saying whether they have the cards that match the requirements that are on the card the airship is on. So you can either agree, I think, and hop off, or you can either stay on the ship and say, I agree, and then if the ship moves on and the person was lying or whatever, the ship crashes and you survive and everybody else dies. And you get points by trying, it's a little bit of social deduction, trying to guess if people actually do have the requirements or not as this airship goes down the track. I think it plays fairly quickly. says it plays in 30 minutes, 2 to 6 players, 8+. I think it's a pretty simple game. So stay aboard the aircraft for as long as you can and bring back the most valuable treasures from the world of Celestia. Take risks to find better treasures. Feels a little bit like Deep Sea Adventure, to tell you the truth. The captain reveals the dangers they must face by rolling the dice, continue with the captain, or disembark to collect the treasures of the city. Yeah, a little bit like Deep Sea Adventure. Almost like Ink and Gold too, right? That if you press your luck and keep going, there's more riches, but you could also have bad things happen to you and lose everything. If the captain does not have the necessary equipment, the aircraft crashes. So that's it right there. So you have to say whether you actually have, as the captain, you take turns, I guess, lying essentially if you have the right things and try to keep people on the airship. It looks like a lot of fun. We're going to play that this weekend. So there we are. That's... I guess I'll hold these up so I can do my quick cut. So this one here was Trial by Trolley. Trial by Trolley! This one is Celestia. Celestia. All right. Next, this is a game that I played at game night several times about 3 years ago. I haven't seen anybody bring it lately, so maybe pretty sure my buddy Steven owned this game. I don't know why I haven't seen it at game night, but it's super awesome. Renegade Studios. They obviously do good work. How best do I explain this game? It is a dice drafter, that's for sure. So you're a dice manipulation. So you are trying to kind of get sets of cards from different categories. So there's bonuses if you have the most of a certain card, and you can get like modifiers that allow you to get even double or triple multipliers of your points on your cards. And to get the cards, you have to place dice. So when you roll your dice, you place a dice, and the dice basically have to match what's on the card. And sometimes it could be, this card, this dice plus this die plus this die is equal to 7. Well, if it's not, then you can use different things to modify your dice, which allow you to unlock those cards, get the cards, and then the modifiers are up in the corner here. And they're these little, the way they did the die cuts on the board, I just thought was really cool. The box looks really cool. Like, look at that, sentient. It's weird. It sticks out at game night for sure, because you see on the table, and it's like a pink box. It's got this kind of pink tone to it. I'm not super loving the UV spot varnish on this. This is an example where, and there's this big debate amongst publishers. Do you do spot varnish or not? Some people really love it. I mean, we're going to do it on Planting Evidence to highlight the shape of the outline of the person on the ground. We'll spot UV that. This one's shiny because it came from Game Crafter, but we'll actually have a matte lamb box. When the whole box is kind of shiny, I mean, this one's matte, but then this is just a big piece that's UV, spot UV. The light just hits me in the eyeballs. I don't like it. It's too shiny. I think I would like this a lot more if it was more UV. Maybe just the sentient was UV, but this was matte. But again, who am I to complain? These guys are doing crazy numbers compared to our small little company. All right, let's see what's inside. Instruction booklet. I don't think I've ever actually seen the instruction booklet. I think somebody usually explains this game to me. Comes with 20 dice. You got your meeples. I have to refamiliarize myself with this game. But I think what was cool is the player board. So this is one. So this is like, if you can collect the military. Where's the widgets? Are we missing pieces? No, it looks like they're under there. Ugh. Alright. I'll put those in the bag when I pack it up. Alright. So the cool thing you have when you have your multipliers and you get these unlock these pieces is they kind of click on the top of the player board, which I really like. The artwork's really cool. I believe when you put these in a series, it's continuous artwork too. Where is it? There's something you click this into. Yeah. So you pick 2, and that forms your player board. So it's a mix and match. So if you want to be like, this one's Capitalist Syndicate. This one here is like Canyon Syndicate. But no matter what mixture you pick, see if I do this, the artwork lines up. It's a continuous image. How bloody cool is that? Like, that's putting a lot of thought into the design of the game. I really appreciate that kind of stuff. There's another one, like a completely different piece. The whole artwork is different, but when you click them together, they form a continuous image, which is super awesome. The dice are super cool. They're custom. So let me throw this here. So I'll give you an idea of the die. That's a 5. But it's got like this kind of circuitry on the dice, which is just cool. It's just a cool game. I love it. I love it. I think there's an order to how you draft too. This all coming back to me now. So you drop your little thing on there, and I think that determines the order of drafting, in turn order, and so forth. I might do a video on this actually after I refamiliarize myself and play it again. But I was super happy to get this in my collection. There was only one on the shelf too, so I'm like, oh my god, they got sentient. That was at 2 o'clock, so I made it past the first wave and I got in the second wave. And again, the artwork, I mean, a lot of really nice artwork they have. This is kind of reminiscent of some of the stuff we're doing on our next game. I might actually study this artwork, see if there's some learnings. The one thing I don't like, and I know there's different camps on this, right? Because some people say, well, the paper board on the inside of the tray is more environmentally friendly, which it is. But I like thermoform trays. I just find they hold the components better. They're less kind of, they don't get roughed up as easy. I mean, beggars can't be choosers. I'm glad there's a tray that separates things versus not. But I'm kind of partial to the thermal trays, which is why you see that in our games, is we always do the thermoform trays, because it is a personal preference. And for me, the longer the game lasts, I think that helps with its environmental footprint as well, because if a game gets all mangled in the first year and somebody tosses it because the thing's just falling apart, that's not great for the environment either, right? Hopefully you want your game to last a long time and have many lives and end up in an auction, so someone like me can end up getting the game and love it some more. So that is Sentient. All right, what do I do next? I'll do that one last. Red Rising. I couldn't believe this is there in the shrink wrap. This wasn't the auction though. That's right. This was down at the retailer, down from us. So Jamie Stagmeyer, we had him on the podcast. We actually talked to him about Red Rising. So he was on with, I believe, Alexander Schmidt. Yeah, Alexander Schmidt came on. He's a designer. Jamie was on the podcast as well. We were talking about Red Rising. And it seemed like a really cool concept. So my plan was to add it to my collection eventually. I just didn't get around to it because, again, I'm a busy dude, as is everybody else. Life gets in the way. And you move on to other things. And then you remember about it. And you're like, oh, yeah, I got to get that game. And you forget about it. And then time passes. And then you see it at a show and you're like, now's the day. Now's the day this is going to join my collection. And I am super happy about that. Because of all of his titles, I play some of them. I don't love all of his titles. I don't want to be controversial in that. I mean, you can't love every game that every publisher puts out. But this one seemed like it's more up my alley because the play time is quick, right? Like I like games that are playing in like an hour or less. That's my bag. That's my jam. So, yeah, linen finish on the box. It's based on the novels that I guess says here Pierce Brown had done. So we talked about that on the podcast as well. Go back to the previous episodes. Again, you go to boardgamebingepodcast.com or boardgamebinge.com. Or quite frankly, if you just go to anywhere you download your favorite podcast, if you're not already following us, and just search Board Game Binge, you will find our podcast. Go back and check out the Jamie Stegmaier episode where we talk about Red Rising. It was a great interview. It's cool to talk to him and get from him his thought process behind what he does and why, right? On that one, we talked about he has like a membership, like an exclusive like club membership that he had added to his website where you can get ongoing discounts. And we talked about that, the whys behind that, what you get out of it, and so forth. It was cool. He's a good dude, and he certainly does a lot for the industry, so super appreciative. I actually had somebody come to the booth and said at the show and said, hey, I'm looking to get into board games. As a designer, I don't know where to start. I just got these designs, and from there I have no idea what to do. I think maybe Kickstarter, but I don't really understand Kickstarter. And really, he was like ground zero. Like, this person had just come up with some board game ideas, or had them for a while, but just now decided, okay, I'm going to try to take it to the next step. So where to start? I pointed him to StonemeyerGames.com. Like, StonemeyerGames.com literally has paint by numbers. Here's exactly how you launch a Kickstarter. Here's a checklist of everything you do before day one. I mean, and he doesn't charge for it, which is great. It's an encyclopedia of how to do this stuff is on StonemeyerGames.com. So I directed him there and said, I can answer any questions you have while I'm here, but man, if you want like a paint by numbers, check out Jamie Stegmaier's website and his blog. Like, it's all right there. This is a really nice booklet. It is linen finish. Holy smokes. I know you can't see this on camera, but the tactile feel of it is super slick. I like it. 3D renderings explaining how to play the game. It's essentially a deck builder. This game, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm almost positive it's deck builder. There's solo rules, so they actually have an autonomous deck, which is cool too. My understanding is there's these different houses. I never read the books. I don't know much about Red Rising, the books. But you're trying to get these... There's different ways to get points, I think. There's like the helium tokens. There's getting the victory points. And I think it's distance on your fleet track or something like that. Again, I don't want to butcher the explanation of this game. But I did want to get to this stage here, my friends, where we get these lovely, lovely punch-outs. Woohoo! Wow. Look at that. They just fall out without any hanging chads. Oh, boy. That was good. That was a good punch-out. Toss that one over there. So these are different classes. So that's cool. Alright. Oh, look at that. Jamie does cardboard boxes too. Cardboard inserts. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. This is pretty cool. You got the symbol with the little tray. This guy holds the actual... Oh, and it clips in nice too. Wow. I had a tray on another game. I'm not going to mention the game because, again, we're all positive on this podcast. But good God, the tray just falls apart as soon as you put it in the box. So I have to put elastic bands around it, and it's like... It's a tray that was designed to hold everything nice and tightly. It does not hold anything nice and tightly. It is like a wet diaper when you're putting your game components in there. They fall everywhere. Like you might as well get tape it up before you put it in the box. Like it has absolutely zero structural soundness to it. And so when I see a tray like this, it actually looks like it clicks together and is going to hold everything in there. And I know that when this box goes on its side, there's not going to be game pieces flying everywhere. That's a good thing. That's cool. So that is a score sheet. You got the artwork, which is cool. I'm not going to crack the artwork yet. These little red gems, which are cool. I like those. These little gems, they show nice. So these go in this tray here. So this will be the test. And dump them in here. Snap that lid on. And hopefully I don't eat my words. Okay. Goes in there. I'm thinking this is the retail version. It's all coming back to me now. There's different versions. Well, it has to be the retail version because I got it from a retailer. So they had a pimped out version of this game. I know that. Yes, now it's coming back to me. And the pimped out version was like super pimped. If that's a thing. Odd even cards. I don't know what those do, but I'm sure they're cool. I think I'll bring this to game night this week. I don't know what that die does either. These little bags. I don't know why there's a bag of bags in here. Like, that must be for the cards. Aha. See, this is why I do thermoform trays. I don't want to harp on this. Because, again, clearly Jamie knows what he's doing. But, now we got to take a plastic bag, right? So there's a bag. It's plastic. So we're saving the environment. But this is a plastic bag that the cards are going to go into so they don't go flying everywhere when I pack my game up. All right. So I'm going to take these out of the shrink sleeve. And I am going to then put them in a plastic bag. So that it allows me to have a paper tray and save the environment. But you're still using plastic. So to me, the amount of plastic you're going to use here, your thermoform tray is not that much more plastic than what's in these. And your thermoform tray, literally, the way I design them is that the deck of cards just drops down into a pocket in the tray and everything, and then something kind of nests on top of it so they don't go flying everywhere. That's how I like to do it anyway. Again, I'm no Jamie Stegmaier. So he is definitely the icon of the industry. A lot of respect for him. Mad respect. Like the cubes, they're cool. And then you got the fleet track. All right, let's crack this open. Oh, Endo Girl joined. Oh, I didn't even see that. I'm sorry. She joined on YouTube. Hello, Endo Girl. Also known as Megan, my niece, who did a fantastic job at the Breakout Con. This is pretty cool. I'm going to show this like this. There's a board the player board you play on. But check out the artwork on the back. How cool is that? That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome indeed. I like that. Artwork goes a long way. It's important to have good artwork. Many a debate I've heard on this. There's one that was Jasper and Board Games by Mondo. We're having this debate on TikTok. I waited on it. They're saying what's more important, great artwork or great gameplay? And my opinion on this one was that I said that, which again seems to be the contrary to what other people are saying, where other people are saying artwork is paramount, which it is. It's important to have good artwork. But I think you can have okay artwork, but amazing gameplay. Because if you have great, I can think of a game. I'm not going to mention the game, but I've donated that game to Adam because I said I will never play this game again. I hate it. The artwork is amazing on this game I got. It's a Kickstarter. And the gameplay is not great. It is, maybe it's me, but it was frustrating that the picture didn't match the Tinder profile, so to speak, right? So the game was beautiful. The photography around the game was amazing, but it wasn't great. So for me, if that game was great and the artwork was okay, that would be on my table often, right? And then other people playing would be like, wow, that's a cool game. Where can I get that game? I can think of many games. 16-bit games, right? Boss Monsters, great example of that. That's not amazing artwork. Granted, some could say that it's stylized that way, but it's how it plays. If I think of like on my Xbox, I've got games where there's cinematics and all this kind of stuff. But the ones I find I'm playing more and more, other than Call of Duty, is games like Sid Meier's Civilizations or Sid Meier's Pirates or some of these. And I'm talking like the original ones, like that were on the original Xbox that didn't have great artwork. So for me, I think gameplay should trump that if you had to pick one, because I think that's what builds a reputation on your game, right? That's what builds a reputation. So, oh, cool. They got, I want to watch a how to play video. That is super awesome. Okay, cool. My friends, that's Red Rising. I am super happy to have this as part of my collection. And I'm going to be playing that this weekend. Good job, Stonemaier Games, man. It's awesome. I'll do it to the camera. Red Rising. Last, but certainly not least, Rainbow Bunny Bop. So we had Becky Young on the podcast. I think it's a few months ago now. It goes by quick. Seems like just yesterday, but I'm pretty sure it's a few months ago. Anyway, she lives in California. She's Canadian though, so she flew back to Niagara Falls this weekend where her family's from and made a trip up on Sunday with some of her family members to the Breakout Con. So it's great to actually meet Becky in person, right? Anytime you can see, it's such a cool feeling in this industry when you have friends, but you've never met them in person. You just meet them virtually, right? And I was talking to Mike Bruner about this, where he was talking about some of his friends and colleagues that he had never met in person. I've talked to some game designers, quite frankly. Oh, that's a funny comment. I will. Thank you. Thank you for the suggestion. I've talked to game designers or publishers where I'm talking to them and they're in different countries and they had never, I think it was Voyages. The two guys that did Voyages have never met in person, I believe. I could be thinking of the wrong people. It was either them or it was the Hegemony guys. I'm pretty sure it was the Voyages guys. Never met in person. They've, published a game, and their friendship is through the cyberspace, right? So it's cool when you get to meet people in person, get to see them up close and chat with them, and just put a face to name. It's awesome. So, anyways, we got to meet Becky. We talked about this game on her episode. And I asked her when she came to my booth, I said, did you bring any Rainbow Bunny Bops with you? And she said she did. And I said, can I get a copy? So we did a swap. She took a copy of Queen of Scots, the card game, which I think she's going to gift to her Nana. Sorry, Nana, if you're watching this, I just ruined the surprise. And I got a copy of Rainbow Bunny Bop, which I love. And I know my kids are going to love this game. And my kids are older, and they still love these kind of games, which is cool. So, colorful, quick, and chaotic card game for all ages 6+, 2 to 4 players, 10 minutes. Check out Becky's TikTok page, channel. I'm trying to think what I think it might just be Becky Young. Or actually, no, maybe she's Rainbow Rabbits on TikTok. I'm sorry, Becky, if I butchered it. Great TikTok channel. What I like is she does, and this is actually how I found Becky, is I was watching one of her tips and tricks on Amazon. Here's some things she does on Amazon ads. The most recent one I saw her doing was on how to do TikTok ads, right? And she's doing reach versus frequency, and actually was able to give you some of her data. Like here's what I saw when I did this ad versus that ad. Super helpful if you're looking at selling your games online. Many of us small publishers may not ever get to be at retail or might have to sell to consolidators or so forth, and may sell our own games on Amazon, right? You can set up your own Amazon account. It's not that hard. And yeah, so it's cool when people can give advice on that. I think it's really, really cool of her to do that. My understanding of this game, and again, I'm sorry if I butchered this, but is that you're placing cards down in order of color. And the cool thing behind this game is Becky created this at work. So the story was that they had a work challenge where everyone was to go home on the weekend and make a game and come back on Monday. And Becky was literally the only person that took that assignment seriously for the team building. And so she created this game with her daughter and came back with a fully working game on Monday, and no one else brought a game. So she played it with her office. Everybody loved it, and it just kind of grew from there, which was kind of cool. So I'm assuming these rainbow cards are giving you the order: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, or dark blue, purple. I don't think I'm colorblind, but people think I'm colorblind. I think that bottom one, this looks like purple to me, this dark one. Maybe it's blue. It's like a dark purple and mauve. I don't know. What does she write on here? Indigo. Well, that doesn't even solve anything. So blue, indigo, violet. All right, we'll say indigo. It does actually look like indigo. That's a good point. Okay, so as you're playing the game, you shuffle it up, and then each player, I believe, has to put their cards down in order. So you're trying to get the red, orange, yellow as fast as you can. But when you place down, say, your yellow card, before you even can get the green card out of your hand, if you have a green card, someone else can throw their green card down. And then you're like, okay, but I got my light blue one, so I'm gonna throw that one down. So you're trying to get them down in order, and the first person to go out, the person who goes out first wins, I believe, something like that. Really simple concept, a lot of fun, super cute artwork. I mean, you got this bunny eating a flower. Look at that. I love it. It's cool. I was chatting with someone that came to the booth, and he was looking at our game Dirty Dragsters, and we're talking about it. And he's like, well, how small is that pack down? And I'm like, well, it is a mint tin game. I mean, it'll fit in your pocket. And he's like, no. Can I combine the tins? Like, how much can I fit in one tin? And the answer was actually you could fit 2 car kits in one tin if you wanted to. And he's like, okay, I'm trying to figure it out. He was carrying this, like, looked like a samurai sword case on his back. But when he opened it up, he had all of his games. He had something like 12 games all jammed in this little case that he takes on the go, which I thought was super cool. So it's cool to have these smaller games on the go. If you're traveling, you're going to the cottage, if you're just having in your car and you're killing time with the kids while you're waiting for something, it's fun. I love these kind of games. There's another game, I think it's called Chaos. Oh, we got some comments. What's that girl saying? We need you to play some of these new games you got soon. For sure, Megan. I'm thinking probably Wednesday is when we're going to start. And we're not going to stop playing games until we get through them all. But it's going to take some time. Next few weeks, we're going to get through all these games, I promise you. Yeah, I think that I think Becky hit on something like that. There's another game that I play at game night that one of the people brings. It's really good for, and this one I actually might bring to game night too. It's good for new people coming in, right? So we've got a game group that's open to the public. So it's a meetup. And when people come, anybody can literally come into this restaurant as long as they RSVP ahead of time. It's a public restaurant that we do it in, and they get some food and some drinks and can chat and make new friends. But often people are coming just to literally do that, make new friends and socialize. And maybe have gamed, or maybe, I mean, there's so many times I talk to people that say, I love playing games, but my family doesn't like playing games. So I have all these games, but I have nobody to play them with, right? Well, meetups is a great place where you can go to play games. And so games like these are perfect for people who are coming in and want to warm up, and maybe they're only going to stay for 20 minutes or 30 minutes because they're just kind of testing the waters. These are the kind of games I love to yank out of the bag and throw on the table, get them playing, get some break some ice, and start making friends. That's what it's all about. So Rainbow Bunny Bop, thank you so much for the trade, Becky. I appreciate it. Love the artwork. Glad to get my hands on a copy. It's awesome, man. Congratulations on that. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with next. My friends, that is the end of the list. So let's go through this one last time so that we have a recap. And then, please, if anybody has any questions, send me a note. I respond to everybody. You can DM me on Instagram. You can reach out to me through Facebook. Friend me on Facebook. Send me an iMessage. I get back to everybody. So just love to meet new people and welcome everybody into this industry, right? It's such an amazing industry. It's awesome. All right, so I'm going to go through the list again. We have Red Rising. This way. Sentient. Celestia. Trial by Trolley. I should probably do this on the larger screen, eh? Okay, I'll do it again. Trial by Trolley. Celestia. Taurus by Analog Game Studios. Good job, Rich, on that. Congratulations on that launch. Sentient. Red Rising. Oh, I just broke my own rules. I put a box lid on sideways. Good God, how could I do that? I am super OCD when it comes to that. And then we've got our dice tray. And last but not least, Rainbow Bunny Bop. Thanks so much for those of you who join me. Listen to me ramble on about games. It's awesome. Thanks for being part of the community. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fantastic night. This has been an episode of the Board Game Binge podcast, hosted by James Staley, produced by James Staley and Mike Bruner, with original music by Nick Smith. If you would like to watch these interviews live, simply subscribe to our YouTube channel, Board Game Binge, and you'll get access to live interviews, giveaways, and interesting board game content from across the industry. I can't wait for you to join us. See you next time.